All right, guys, welcome in and Merry Christmas Eve to all of you guys watching. I'm here today with me and Markello.
What's up, guys? No Peter today, unfortunately.
But we do have a slate of games, I believe, from every day starting tomorrow till Monday. So it should be an exciting weekend. 2 weeks left in the NFL season before playoffs. And it's pretty ironic that Peter's not here because his team is up first on the slate. Vikings at Saints.
I wouldn't even say the Saints looked bad last week, too. I don't know how I'm feeling about Drew Brees. I think a little bit of a cause for concern. I don't think he's 100%, but we'll see how that rolls out. But
Yeah, well,
no,
obviously,
definitely no issues this week.
yeah. Well, the Vikings are usually some kind of Achilles heel to the Saints, but I don't know. I feel like Drew Brees came back last week, started off a little bit rusty. I think he went like 0 for 6, but then they kept the game close. I did expect that. I thought that the Chiefs would pull away. They didn't really pull away. Saints just kind of kept like fighting back. And also the Saints didn't really have Michael Thomas last week, and he's obviously not playing this week either because he's on IR. But I think the Saints get their revenge. I think that the last two times the Vikings have beaten the Saints with Case Keenum and Kirk Cousins last year, I think the Saints are going to handle them convincingly this time.
I would sure hope so. I mean, look, it's not even to say whatever Michael Thomas is on IR for the rest of the year, but Drew Brees always does a lot with nothing anyway, so it doesn't matter. I feel like as long as that offense has Alvin Kamara, they're not going to be a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Peter wanted us to make sure that everyone knew that Eric Kendricks is not playing for the Vikings and their backup linebacker. So it should be a pretty big day for Kamara, Latavius Murray, and even Taysom Hill if they decide to use him as a rusher again because David Montgomery just ran over this team. Montgomery's been hot, but I'm just saying the Vikings the last few weeks run defense has been atrocious. And the Vikings basically eliminated themselves last week by losing to the Bears. So there's still a chance for them, but it's like a 5% chance. So
Yeah, it's like one of those like scenarios where they have to win and then like these other teams have to lose. So
yeah, they
it's
have a
not
lot.
looking
They
good.
need a lot to go right for them, and it just doesn't look good for the
Yeah,
Vikings. So, and we're pretty sure Peter's going Saints here. So
I'm 100% positive
yeah,
Peter's going Saints
yeah,
here.
me too. So 3 Saints. Now we'll hop into the Saturday matchups. We have three of them. Starting at 1 p.m., we have the Bucks at Detroit with the Lions. What do you think?
Closer game than what I thought last week, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's just I mean, look, the Bucks look great. Finally we get an answer. Do we think Leonard Fournette's the number one guy there?
No,
Really?
no. He had like 49 yards, but he like got in for 2 touchdowns.
I understand, but I don't know. I think he needs a bigger role in the offense. I personally like what I've seen out of him, but then you kind of can't just cut Ronald Jones where he's been. So very
Yeah,
sticky situation. But this week, I don't think I have them seeing any problems against Matt Stafford and the Lions. Matt Stafford actually ended up playing last week too, Ryan.
yeah, I know. That guy he's one of the toughest guys in the NFL. I love Stafford, I really do. And Detroit's actually dealing with somewhat of a COVID issue, not for team
Oh,
wise,
really?
coaches wise. They're missing 5 coaches because since they play on Saturday, they're not eligible to. They were close contacts. So Detroit is dealing with
That's an even bigger
yeah.
problem.
They
Yeah.
don't have the interim head coach and they don't have there's a new defensive coordinator now for this week. So but the Bucks, they did look a little bit rusty last week. Atlanta started off, I think, 24-0 or 17-0, but then the Bucks came all the way back and won.
Have you noticed the Bucks play like horribly against like these teams that they should have no issues with?
Yeah, I mean, it's cause for concern for me at least. I mean, I understand that's a division game between the Falcons, but
I just don't. You know what I don't get either. How do you let Tom Brady do to you twice if you're Atlanta?
yeah, I feel like we watch the same story, but like different teams with Atlanta. So every time, I don't know what's wrong with that franchise, but they always do this. Like even when that game was 17-0, I never thought it was over. I just like, oh,
I just don't understand how you go up that much and you can't figure out how to say, okay, I'm just going to keep the ball out of the only guy's hands that can like take this game away from us and Tom Brady. Let's, pound out the rock. Let's complete our first downs. Let's get through and, just burn out the clock. But they just can't seem to put that together. I don't understand it.
me neither. They're such a weird team. But for this game, I'm going Tampa. I do feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
Stafford will play pretty well in the first half, but I got a feeling that it'll kind of be like that Lions game last week where they just
I liked what I saw at DeAndre Swift too.
yeah,
He's
and that's
one of
good
the
for
coming
Detroit.
soon.
They need a consistent like running back.
I just wish they would stop giving the ball to Adrian Peterson like in the red zone at all. I feel like he should just be completely phased out at this point, and the range should just be given to Swift and just like let's see what he can do. Because he
Yeah.
showed he showed that he can do magnificent stuff. So I just don't understand what the whole plan is there, just feeding AP.
Yeah, I'm with you. I hope Swift is the bell cow next year because like for right now, for this week especially, we know Kenny Galladay's not playing again this season. So like
Yeah.
use Swift as a pass catcher. He's excellent at it, and because the weapons right now are only Hawkinson, Swift, and Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones, by the way, has looked phenomenal this year. I feel like really
Again,
underrated.
yeah, he's honestly been really underrated his whole career.
Super underrated. It's crazy.
Yeah. He's extremely productive, and he's keeping this Lions offense alive. So
Afloat, basically, yeah.
yeah. But I'm going Tampa here. I think it'll be somewhat of a close game, but I think it'll be like 35-24 Bucks.
Tampa money line is -10, so I would take that.
I think I would take
that. Yeah, I would take that.
Because there's also a decent chance Stafford might not finish the game if he's like hit the wrong way. And I know they're missing some offensive linemen again, so I'm surprised Tampa team playing because Detroit have nothing to play for. But like he said that he doesn't want to shut down his season.
He's a baller, man. I could appreciate that guy.
The next game we have here is the 49ers at the Cardinals. And the Niners are down to their third-string quarterback, C.J. Beathard, because Nick Mullins had Tommy John surgery.
Do we think we're going to see Josh Rosen?
Not this week. I don't even know if he'll be cleared, right? The COVID protocols?
So I don't even know. When did they sign him? They signed him the other day, right? Like 2 days ago?
I believe, or Monday?
I think, like 2 days ago on Monday.
Yeah, I think it was Monday. But maybe he gets a Week 17 chance to start. Maybe.
I'd like to see him get a shot. So I feel like this 49ers team doesn't have anything to play for at this point. So
yeah.
Granted, like this week, they're also going to have a very tough time. DeAndre Hopkins is wide receiver 1. I think he's wide receiver 1. I've been saying this to Peter for 3 years, and he thinks I'm crazy, but I have DeAndre Hopkins wide receiver 1 in the NFL.
He's in definitely my top 3 or 4. I don't know if I have him 1. Just because of how good Devonta Adams and Tyreek Hill have been this year.
I understand that, but you also have to look with DeAndre Hopkins has been doing this his entire career with the likes of like Tom Savage and like Brandon. He just got he just got his good quarterbacks in Deshaun Watson and Kyler Murray. But this guy's been doing it his whole career.
He's a complete stud. That touchdown catch last week was unbelievable.
What
a game that was. I mean, I picked Philly to win that game, but that was some game between Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray.
Yeah, that was
dude, they scored like 10 combined touchdowns.
I'm not buying the hype in Jalen Hurts yet, but I'm very impressed with what I've seen.
Well, we'll say this, like I said last week, we had a 1.5 game sample, but if Jalen Hurts played for Philly, they easily win the NFC East this year.
So for sure. For sure.
The difference, this is the same exact weapons that Wentz has worked with. Look at the offense between Hurts and Wentz. It's just
it is too. They're two completely different quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Carson Wentz isn't going to be able to run the read option for you.
Game. Yeah,
enormously. Miles Sanders has been looking great the past couple of weeks with Hurts there.
Exactly. So that's encouraging because I think Jalen Hurts basically kept Doug Peterson. We'll get to Philly when they play, but
yeah,
I think Doug Peterson's unsafe for now for this season.
For sure. I think they saw like, all right, this is his guy. All right, we'll keep him. But this week, granted that the Cardinals did take a rough one last week, I do have them bouncing back this week and beating up on the 49ers. No issues, no problems.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be as close as last week. Arizona are now in the driver's seat after winning last week's game. They should make the playoffs, and I feel like they're going to win this game. The Cardinals' defense has also been pretty shocking the last few weeks. Like they've been getting a ton of sacks, turnovers. So, and this shouldn't be a problem for them. It's in their home place, and the Niners they're just kind of like they're trying to get to the finish line with all the injuries this year. They lose another quarterback, so it's just sad for Kyle Shanahan. But Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray's gonna be hot again. He's fully healthy now. You could see the last 2 weeks. His shoulder isn't an issue anymore. He's running around, and
he's doing this. He's balling out again. This is like week 2, 3, 4 Kyler Murray we're seeing.
And this is the perfect time, man. We're going right into the playoffs. This is where you want to be. You want to be going in hot. So Cardinals.
Unlike the Raiders, who somehow made it to fumble the bag from
Yeah.
6-3 with the easiest schedule left.
That's a perfect segue because that's our next game.
Exactly.
Dolphins at Raiders.
And the skid continues. The skid continues.
Yeah, I want to say that I was right about the Raiders once again.
I should have listened, man.
No disrespect to Derek Carr because he got hurt in the last game, but Marcus Mariota actually looked really good coming in. I don't think it was a quarterback issue why they lost. It was just that was such a weird game. It was such a fun, weird game between the Chargers and Raiders. We had missed field goals at the end. We had turnovers. It was a complete mess. Just everything Raiders and Chargers this year. Like they just stuffed it into one beautiful fourth quarter and overtime.
And Justin Herbert's a freak. This kid just always impresses me, man.
That's another thing. The Chargers literally did not have Joey Bosa. He played like 4 snaps. No, Keenan Allen played I don't know how many snaps, barely anything.
Yep.
No Mike Williams. We were playing with Jalen Guyton and undrafted free agent wide receivers.
Like Hunter Henry.
Yeah, and Hunter Henry.
And that's it.
And this Raiders defense is the worst in the league. It's not even close. They are abysmal. I'm going Dolphins here. Like Tua last week, he beat up the Patriots. And listen, I understand the Patriots aren't anything special right now, but you got to understand the Dolphins. We know Belichick's track record against rookie quarterbacks. And last week, the Dolphins did not have Mike Gesicki, no Devontae Parker, and no
Gaskin.
Yeah.
Gaskin either.
Gaskin.
Yeah.
It did not matter. The Dolphins ran over them. I think they had 200 yards combined with Ahmed, Tua, and they just had a bunch of things going right for them. And I think Brian Flores is too good of a coach to lose to what the Raiders are doing right now. The Raider season's over.
I'd have to agree with you, unfortunately. Feel bad for my guy Derek Carr, though. He was really, I feel like, putting up a silently good year until he got hurt. But, I feel like
the issues were Carr this year.
Carr was –
I've been hard on Carr before, but not this year. I think he's put up every game I've seen outside of the Falcons game has been a pretty impressive year. So
I think, like you said, if that defense wasn't as abysmal as it is, they probably would have been in a lot more of the games than, like especially the ones that they've been losing as of late. They shouldn't have lost some of those games. It's just the defense like falling apart and destroying the team at that point. Like I said at the beginning, unfortunately, this skid does continue for the Raiders. I have no faith against this Dolphins team that has been riding hot as of late. Tua has looked outstanding ever since he's taken over the helm. I'm really happy with what I've seen from him. And like you said, Brian Flores is just going to outcoach John Gruden in this one.
Yeah, I agree. Let's hop on to the next one. Falcons. Now we're on to Sunday. Falcons at Chiefs. We know your stance on the Falcons hasn't changed.
I'm just going to make this short.
Yeah, why
Chiefs
would it?
In a blowout.
Yeah, Chiefs. Although I guess the Falcons, will score like 20 points, but you just know the Chiefs are probably going to score 45.
Yeah, I mean, look, no doubt in my mind there's going to be a lot of garbage time catch-up, but there's also no doubt in my mind that Travis Kelce might have like 6 or 7 receptions for 150 and 2 touchdowns. So easy win for the Chiefs.
I mean, he does that every week almost, Kelce. So
yeah, he's a freak.
Yeah, I'm with you. Falcons are just.
Isn't Kelce like only behind DeAndre Hopkins in receiving yards?
No, Kelce's number 1 by like 100 yards.
No, I think Hopkins overtook him last week. I'm pretty sure.
Are you sure? I don't know because Kelce was up by 100.
I'll tell you right now.
Because before going into last week, number 1 and 2 were actually Kelce and Hill.
DeAndre Hopkins is at 13-24, and then Travis Kelce's at 13-18.
And I think Hill's the third, unless he got overtaken.
Diggs is 13-14.
That monster game.
That's crazy.
But yeah, for week
a tight end to be up there.
Week 15, it was literally Kelce and Hill 1 and 2 before going into last week.
That just says a lot about Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that offense is just insane. That touchdown to McCole Hardman last week was absolutely insane from Mahomes in the back of the end zone. And that was think about that. The Chiefs played like in air quotes bad on offense last week, and they still put up 32 points on the Saints. So feel bad for the Falcons, but you're gonna get Mahomes. So
pretty much.
Yeah. That was. We'll hop on to the next game. Our Jets finally won a game. Unfortunately, no, don't.
Zach Wilson, baby.
I do like Zach Wilson. I guess me and you can talk about it at the end of the podcast if you want about the draft a little bit. But for right now, The Jets lost Quinn Williams. Actually, he's been having a phenomenal second year. Really, he's
What's
out for
going
the
down
year
with him?
now.
You have a concussion?
Concussion and a neck injury. I think they're
Oh,
just being a little
jeez.
bit precautious. Like, there's 2 games left. There's no need for him to rush back. And
Not even that. I saw him like as he was leaving the game, he was like throwing up on
he
the
was throwing up
sideline.
on the sideline.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, that cannot be good. That's head injury 100%.
It didn't look good. He's actually one of the reasons why we won. He absolutely demolished the Rams' interior offensive line.
And Mekhi Becton is a freak.
Yeah, Becton's a freak.
That guy was like one hand double teaming Aaron Donald with no issues, and it was
in the goal line, he actually threw him down for the Frank Gore 1-yard touchdown. So there's some encouraging thing for the Jets. It's just so frustrating that we might lose out on Trevor Lawrence. Probably will now, but there is some silver lining. There is some pieces here. I still think it's crazy that I seen people on Twitter, not even Jets fans, just like Bears beat reporters commenting how Lawrence escaped the Jets. It's like, you guys realize he's going to Jacksonville, right? Like, for me, I'm biased here, but I think the Jets is a better spot to go to for everything.
So I think offensively, yeah, 110%. You guys have like the brighter future.
Well, I wouldn't even say offensively, because the Jaguars have like Chark and Robinson. Right now, we only have probably Mims and Crowder.
Yeah, but not even that. You guys have like a decent looking line to put in front of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just meant it from like in terms of endorsement deals. He's fucking it way more here in New York. And
just, 110%.
Honestly, like I don't know how true this was. Schefter 2 weeks ago was saying how the Jaguars are going to keep Doug Marrone as the coach again. So like, if Lawrence is going there, I understand they're getting a new GM now, so they have a lot of picks to also work with. Like, Jacksonville's an exciting place if they get an actual GM. I just feel pretty solid with what the Jets have with Joe Douglas. So. But either way, that doesn't affect this matchup. Cleveland they're running hot.
Really hot. Baker Mayfield's been on a tear.
Yeah.
Something I feel like we've never been able to say either. Baker Mayfield has been on a tear, huh? It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy for him. I mean, I picked him a few weeks ago to beat Baltimore, and even though they didn't win, I feel like he showed me enough. Like, he was like, this is finally a game where he looked good against a division rival.
Oh, but that was like potential game of the year too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
him and Lamar was amazing.
Fantastic game. So I feel like the Browns should handle this one.
If you guys don't want to come out as like the freaking 84 Chicago Bears and destroy everyone,
it wouldn't stun me if the Jets play well again. Without winning, it's difficult.
But you don't get, why do you guys give Frank Gore so many touches in the running game?
Adam Gase is the head coach, bro. But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Even like your other guys, Ty Johnson, like, looked really good.
On the first drive, this guy had like 4 catches and a touchdown. I think he gets like 2 carries for the rest of the game after that. So no, I'm with you there. That's why I never understood. I don't understand what Gase is trying to accomplish other than like trying to win. Because does Frank Gore even give you the best chance to win? This man had 23 carries, I think, for 59 yards and a touchdown.
He's averaging like 1 point something per carry. There's no way.
That's what I'm saying. So makes no. He's obviously not going to be here next year, Frank Gore or Gase. So it doesn't make any sense. Who knows? Yeah. Easy
win for the Browns, though, I feel like.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, the Jets are actually locked in either 1 or 2 now because of the Bengals win. So this game, if Jacksonville doesn't win another game, this game doesn't really matter.
And plus, losing Quinn Williams also like opens up a big holes in your defense for Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, they should have no problems. So I actually think this one's going to be the most interesting game of the week. Colts at Steelers. Only because the Steelers have been playing.
Yeah, I want to say so, but I feel like we've seen the Steelers are actually frauds.
I don't know. Like they definitely were not as good as 11-0. I think we all can agree on that. But I don't think they're as bad as they just lost to Ryan Finley and the Bengals. So like this screams.
Did you see that? Like, did you watch that whole game?
I did. I thought that was gonna be a bounce back game for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so did I. That was atrocious play out of Big Ben and the Steelers. That was horrible.
That's my concern with them because I know right now they're gonna get a few defensive pieces back because I know their whole linebacker core is like injured right now. So like they can come back from that.
Well, isn't Dupree out for like the season?
Yeah, Bud Dupree's out and Bush, but like they have
those are huge pieces.
Vince Williams is coming back soon, and I think Robert Spinelli, he's been playing pretty good too. But so like they have some people coming back, but the offense is what's most concerning for me. It's like Big Ben on the first play of the game took a shot to like James Washington. That ball got nowhere near where it needed to be.
And then when they try to run the ball with Snell, he was getting stuffed every like 2 seconds.
Their offensive line cannot run block for anything. And there was a pass early on in the game where he got Eric Ebron hurt. Like he basically put him in a helicopter play, threw it in triple coverage. On that same play, Claypool's open for a post about 50 yards on the field. And the fact that Big Ben's seen it, he didn't attempt it, which tells you all you need to know about his arm. He has no trust that he could put it there.
Rank that, yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know if he needs to rest before the playoffs or what. Maybe he's just like shot. Maybe his elbow's just done. But like right now, it's just not pretty.
Dude,
But
when is the last time?
back. I don't think they're that bad.
When was the last time Big Ben has played healthy?
I don't know. I mean, it's looked really ugly now since that Ravens game. So it's been almost a month. We thought the Bengals would be a nice bounce back game, especially because you're playing against Ryan Finley, and even he ran over him and Bernard. So the Steelers look done. I'm gonna pick the Colts here. Like I think, how could you pick the Steelers after their recent performances? But this wouldn't surprise me. Like the Steelers, I feel like they're gonna bounce back a little bit.
I think this is gonna be a good game. I don't know. I feel like Tomlin probably is at the point where he's like, I'm not losing anymore. But do I want to trust Big Ben against arguably one of the best defenses in the league?
But what are the other options for Pittsburgh? Because you're not turning it
Mason
back.
Rudolph.
You're turning it back to Mason Rudolph.
Duck Hodges
in the playoffs.
Well, that's why you guys send over Mr. Sam Darnold for a good old second-round pick, and you solve their issues.
No, that's the offseason though. But I'm talking about for right now for the.
There's no other.
For the playoffs,
there's no other
option.
option.
Go with Ben for the playoffs at least.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Colts though. I just think this offense is gonna stall out even worse than it did.
I will say this: if the Steelers, they don't have to win this game. If they don't bounce back and make this a close game where Ben looks semi-decent, the Steelers.
They're getting bounced. Yeah, they're getting bounced
back
run
this week. They're done. I understand they're playing a good defense, but this is a game the Steelers should be like psyched up for. Like they're like, everyone's doubting us. They don't believe in us. Like this is the game the Steelers have to play well. If they don't, they're going home in the first round of the playoffs, and they might even lose the AFC North, because then next week's game against the Browns becomes.
I told Peter this actually, like when we were watching this game, I was like, dude, these guys are going to get cranked out of the first round no matter who they play.
That's what I'm thinking too. But they have the talent to overcome what they've been doing. But for right now, I agree with you. I think right now, if they played, I think the Jets would beat them tomorrow based on what I just seen on Monday. Like I don't like the Steelers look just horrible. But we'll move on here. Well, let's talk about the Colts a little bit. Phillip Rivers has looked really good the last month of the season. And Jonathan Taylor, the Colts have looked. I'm interested to see them in the playoffs. I really am. We have Zach Pascal. I think he scored 2 touchdowns last week. So the Colts have they have a lot of pieces in the defense. Obviously,
they just lack a wide receiver, man. They really don't have a true number 1 wide receiver. I feel like they don't even have a number 2 wide receiver.
Well, I think T.Y. Hilton's come alive the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think he's done after this, bro. I just don't see his career going anywhere after.
Yeah, he could be as a free agent. Either way, I'm kind of excited for the Colts. I hear what you're saying, but they have some good depth pieces. Hopefully Pittman steps up again. But either way, the Colts they seem to make a defensive great play every week. Like they strip.
That defense is phenomenal.
Yeah, going into the tie of the game right at the end. Like Deshaun Watson had another big day against them, but they somehow find a way right at the end. So.
And you know what's crazy? They drafted that entire defense with the exception of I think 1 or 2 pieces on the line.
Yeah, I think besides Justin Houston, I think and Buckner. Buckner's been a stud. I cannot believe he didn't Pro Bowl.
That's crazy. But yeah, that defense Darius Leonard, Rock Ya-Sin, crazy pieces, crazy pickups.
So yeah,
what's the next game?
Here.
100%.
Next game, this one's going to be interesting because I picked the Jaguars to win this a few weeks ago, but Bears at Jacksonville. Here's what I'll say.
So are they resting James Robinson, or is that just for a practice that they rested him?
So he actually got hurt at the end of the Baltimore game, I think in the third quarter. And they basically said he's not going to practice this week, but he has a chance to play, or he wants to play. He feels like he can play Sunday. So we're going to find this out at 11 o'clock Sunday morning. I'll say that he doesn't play. I'm not sure. It's probably 50-50, but I don't know why they'd be playing him, if he's not, actually fit to play. But I feel like this is going to be a really close game because this is a classic. So I picked the Bears to win last week, right? And they did. The Bears are now traveling to Jacksonville. The Bears actually have something to play for. The Bears can make the playoffs. I don't think they will with Arizona, but like the Bears are not mathematically eliminated. They're not. I think there's like a 20% chance. So they need to win this game, obviously. Dave Montgomery's been super hot, probably the hottest running back over the last month of the season.
Finally.
So Trubisky has looked much better than Foles since he's returned. So the Bears have been looking a lot better. So this would obviously, it makes sense to pick the Bears. I just feel I have a great feeling this is going to be a Trubisky letdown game. He's been playing way too good. He's traveling away from home now. His home and away games look totally different.
I would hope so for your guys' sake, because if Jacksonville loses this, you guys get shifted back into the number one pick. Win this. I mean, you get shifted back.
Watch, we'll beat New England week 17 anyway, so like it'll be just crazy. But you know what? I'm actually going to pick Jacksonville here, and this is probably just as a biased Chef fan. I do this sometimes on the show. But I have a legit feeling this game will be really close. I got a feeling this game might be like the Vikings Jaguars game where it went to overtime. I just got a feeling this will be like a touchdown kind of score game. But who knows? The Bears are really hot, so maybe the Bears just like continue to, run the ball. Montgomery, it works. Allen Robinson, like
that's my problem.
There's an easy path for the Bears to win this game. Like the Bears should win this game.
Yeah, that's my issue with it, because this Jaguars defense is atrocious against the run, and we've seen any running back play them all year destroy them. So David Montgomery's going to have a huge game. That's to be expected.
I think he will, honestly.
To be expected. And then I think that opens up the door for Trubisky to ease back a little bit and not have to worry about too much about making too many plays. Granted.
I just don't think this is going to be a game like how Baltimore and Jacksonville were last week, where it was like over in the first quarter.
No, of course not. Granted, it's still Mitchell Trubisky, so I don't trust him.
Yeah, that's the problem here. And the Bears have been – how hot have the Bears been the last few weeks? Like
they've been really hot. Yeah, they've been really good. I mean, look, it was a really tough matchup for them last week, though, in the division too. So
it was a big win for the Bears last week.
Like but it came off a tough matchup. I think that should have been
the Bears. I know me and you did, but not a lot of people picked the Bears last week to win.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Bears should win this game. We'll just say that.
They should win this game, but I think I'm also going to go Jacksonville.
If you pick the Bears, it makes perfectly logical sense. Like you should pick the Bears. I'm calling this a trap game, a good old trap game.
I think this is going to be Jacksonville too. I think
Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think the Bears come out flat.
Oh my God, that's nuts. I thought I was going to go lone wolf here.
No, yeah, I think tough matchup last week. They come out a little bit flat. Like you said, Trubisky's traveling away from home, and he looks horrible on the road. So I think this is going to be a Trubisky-like fluke game.
This could be like the Jets and Rams, though, like no one expects it. And I honestly think Gardner Minshew is going to play pretty well this week, assuming he starts.
I think Gardner Minshew is going to be playing for his life the next 2 weeks because he knows what's coming if they end up at 1.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, even if he's not in Jacksonville next year, maybe he is as a backup, he needs to show like something on film.
Exactly.
Yeah, for his NFL career. So that's interesting. I actually didn't think you were going to pick the Jaguars, but we'll see. This could be easy theirs. So.
Yeah, of course, but I could see like as easy as it is for them to win it, I could also map out a pathway just as easy for them to lose it. So.
Well, I like taking a trap game I took the Eagles last week. I was close. I sometimes get these picks right, so I never would have guessed the Bengals or Jets last week. I'll tell you that for sure. But so we'll move on. Let's go to your Giants. Giants at Baltimore this week.
I think this is going to be a really close game.
James Bradbury's back off the COVID list.
Yeah, I think Daniel Jones is going to get activated if I'm not sure. I'm not sure, though.
I'm pretty sure he's going to play. I seen a tweet today, and they said QB1. So,
I think we match up pretty well with the Ravens, actually. What we do on defense is kind of what they do good on offense. We can stop the run. So I'm just kind of hoping we sell out, stop Lamar Jackson, and keep the game as close as we can. But, again, hopeful Giants fan over here, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, the Giants need to win this game, obviously, for the NFC East to stay in contention.
That's the whole thing. Both sides are playing at this point to get into the playoffs. So I think I'm going to take a Baltimore team that can easily turn out this Giants team.
I think I'm with you. Baltimore is one of the hottest teams in the NFL recently. That Browns game, like you said, was like game of the year, I think, so far. That was excellent. And then last week they ran over Jacksonville, completely demolished them. But I will say, I don't think the Giants are going to give up like that kind of performance like the Browns defense and Jacksonville's defense did against Lamar. Like, it's not going to be an easy game for the Ravens.
Oh, he's
I
been
think
so Lamar's been like on a tear though lately.
he's been on a tear, and I think he will have a good game. I don't think it'll be a great game like the last 2 weeks. I think the Giants will do a decently good job on Baltimore. I mean, if you stop the run against Baltimore, at least limit it, you're
Yeah.
forcing, Hollywood Brown and Willie Snead to beat you and Mark Andrews. And what we've seen so far, Baltimore's passing offense is not the same as it was last year, and for most of the year it's looked terrible. But you know, I'm not picking against Baltimore, like with John Harbaugh and just the way they do things down there. Now they're getting hot in December, but I just think this will be a kind of an annoying game for them. I think it'll be like 24-16 Ravens.
Yeah, I feel like something like similar to the week 1 matchup we had with Pittsburgh, like that kind of game.
Where you hang in there and just make it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I could
pretty
see
much. We'll
something
make
like
like a
that.
little last minute attempt, but it'll fall short.
Yeah, and probably eliminate the Giants from the playoffs, right? Unfortunately,
And lock us in for the top 10, baby. Let's go, draft day.
that's what's crazy about the NFC East is like all of the
Dude, I
teams
think all of the teams are in the top 10.
are in the top 10, right? But if the winner, you go automatically to 20 at lowest. So it's crazy. And I honestly think for your sake, I think you need the top 10 pick. I don't think
For sure.
like this has already been a good turnaround for you this year. Honestly, after last year's defense, like what it's been, a 1 year turnaround with the coaching staff. And McKinney played his first game right last week.
I think it was his first or his second. I'm not sure.
So hopefully he starts to show something. I think he's going to be a good player, right, for next year at least.
I think we actually got him for pretty good value in the second round.
Up of the second round, yeah, probably the best safety from last year, or at least one of the best safeties from last year's class. So the Giants have a lot of things going for them, and from a 1 year turnaround. But we
signed some practice squad like linebacker that's been balling out apparently too.
For you guys?
Yeah, I think I actually sent this to you on Instagram. That kid, Nico Lalos, that kid's like apparently a baller.
Well, that's
making big
news.
Plays.
That's great news.
So yeah, I think bright future for the Giants. Not so bright present this week.
Yeah, I mean this is tough to ask for anybody going against the Ravens in Week 16. So.
But if any team's gonna do it, I feel like it's the Giants. We just play like spoiler to anyone.
This is the NFC East. They've all the teams have actually been kind of hot recently, just excluding the Giants last 2 weeks because of the Daniel Jones injury and Colt McCoy. But all the other teams are winning games that they weren't supposed to. So we'll see. You can never count.
Freddie Kitchens play calling. Oh my God, it was atrocious.
Yeah, what was that? The fake. They didn't even tell the coach they were running the fake. It looked like a fake punt, and it was.
Dude, he went for it on like 4th and forever at one point in the red zone. We're like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah, that was wild.
He was running draws on like 4th and 5. I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, at least Jason Garrett should be back this week, right? So hopefully some stability.
Pray to God, man. I would never thought I'd say this. I want Jason Garrett to be my play caller again.
Yeah. Well, we know Freddie Kitchens did last year. Look at Cleveland this year, and look what they were last year under Freddie Kitchens. That's all you need to know about Freddie Kitchens. But we'll move on. We're both going Baltimore. This one should be kind of interesting. Bengals versus the Texans. Deshaun Watson's looked so hot this year, but the Bengals.
I think the Bengals only came out super hot and won that game because Juju danced on the logo and it was a divisional. I think as soon as Von Bell makes that hit on Juju, it's like, all right, you know which team is like about it right now.
The Bengals,
I don't know.
They look good, but I'm with you. I don't think one game, Ryan Finley especially.
Yeah, no way.
What he is last year and the small sample size this year. But
dude,
Brendan Allen could
treat him
back for this week, but doesn't matter. They're both not good quarterbacks.
Dude, why is Ryan Finley Cincinnati's Lamar Jackson, but he's not to the skill level of Lamar Jackson? Did you see how they were using him?
Yeah, I didn't even think he was I'm not saying he was fast, but he looked better as an athlete than I thought he was. I cannot believe the Steelers allowed that, especially after the first few plays, and then they let him run in for that 30-yard scramble for a touchdown. That was crazy to me. But I'm not picking against Deshaun Watson. I know the Texans' record hasn't shown it this year, but he's been a top 5 quarterback, absolutely phenomenal. Even last week against the Colts, last week he's David Johnson's 100-yard receiver last week. So I will say Peter was right about that. David Johnson does make an impact on this team, even as a receiver. We're not working with Will Fuller anymore. It's been Brandon Cooks, Chad Hansen, and Kiki QT the last 3 weeks. And if you said who for most of them, outside of Brandon Cooks, you'd be right. And Deshaun Watson has these guys in every game outside of that Bears game because Brandon Cooks didn't play or David Johnson. So Just hats off to Deshaun Watson. I think it's been a painful season, but not from his end. And I think they're going to beat the Bengals this week.
For sure. I think Deshaun Watson, like you said, has been playing out of his mind this season, so I don't think he has any problem carving up this defense, even though he's, working with super limited pieces, but that's just the kind of guy he is.
Yeah. And this would be not big of a deal, but the fact is the Texans do not have their first-round pick. And right now, I believe they're picking 4th or 5th, which is Miami's pick. So it's just kind of sad for Watson and the Texans, but it is what it is. The Bengals have now eliminated themselves from the first overall pick. They were barely mathematically alive to begin with, but beating the Steelers actually knocked them out of the top 2. So they'll most likely be picking 3rd overall. And I think we know which direction they're headed. Tackle from Oregon.
Sure. The tackle from Oregon, 100%. Yep. Lock that in.
So that's hopefully good news for Burrow and, Bengals offense next year. Let's move on. We're now on to the 4 p.m. games. Broncos at Chargers. What are we thinking here?
Is Drew Lock playing?
Yeah, I believe so.
He's going to come out and play like John Elway again, so I don't think I can play.
This is the week, the John Elway week?
Yeah, I think this is a John Elway week. I think the Chargers defense is, even though they've looked – where are they? Who are they out right now?
Well, I believe Bosa is still injured. Joey Bosa got another concussion, so I don't believe he's playing this week.
Their whole linebacking core is like a little messed up. Chris Harris out. All right.
Yeah, Harris is out again because he played against the Raiders.
He's questionable.
So, yeah, we even seen because Marcus Mariota came in, he did work against the Chargers.
That's what I'm saying. Their defense just looks so bad. So I think this is going to be like a Drew Lock, John Elway type week. He's going to throw for like 300 yards and 4 touchdowns and good luck stop. I mean, look, granted, Justin Herbert could probably do the same.
He's missing a lot though this week again. Like in terms, I don't think
Keenan Allen. I think Hunter Henry is also questionable.
I don't think he's playing. I haven't seen the practice report today. It's Thursday, but I know they didn't practice the first.
I think Austin Eckler also. Nah, Eckler's not on it. Never mind. That's crazy. But yeah, I think this is the week. This is the week where I don't pick against the Broncos.
This one I'm flip-flopping. So I picked the Chargers here initially, but it just like with this injury report and the fact is, I don't think anybody likes Anthony Lynn, even Chargers fans. He's a good guy, just terrible coach, and the time management is abysmal. It's horrible. For them to win 3 games in a row would be crazy. My only thing is like it's just Herbert could do it. Like we know he can do it. It's just if Keenan Allen's definitely playing, like if I see the Sunday report and I see Keenan Allen's active, but he's actually playing this time, I might switch this pick to the Chargers. But I think I'm with you. The Broncos seem to be like kind of a streaky team this year, where like they'll get some wins here and there. They look, how good do they look against the Panthers, right? 2 weeks ago. And then
that's the other thing too. They're like so flat. I don't know.
Drew Lock threw like 4 touchdowns, and Aaron Rodgers did nothing against the Panthers literally 5 days later, which was nuts to me. But that's how the NFL is sometimes. It's not all like given. That's what makes it fun.
Ooh, oh no. Hunter Henry is listed with an illness.
No,
Not like a.
That's a yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Broncos here. I do think. I think this game will be extremely close again. It'll be something crazy. Maybe not as crazy as the Raiders game, but you just got a feeling this game will come down to the 4th quarter. And probably Michael Badger will probably miss a field goal. I don't know why he calls himself Money Badger or Money, whatever he calls himself. But this guy has missed like 9 kicks this year. So, and it's
still a wonder that he has his job. He has his job still.
51 yards is nowhere near a given. I get it, but this man shanked it so bad before going into overtime. Like he kicked it all the way to like the left hand of the stadium. So I'm with you. I'm gonna go Broncos here. I think Drew Lock and the Broncos bounce back. The Bills were just riding in hot. I don't want to put stock into that game because Denver did not match up with all the injuries, and Denver looked good the week before. I think they're a streaky team, and I think this is the week. Like you said, Drew Lock will look like John Elway this week. So
yeah, the guy does it like sporadically, dude. It's so weird.
I will say, like I know Peter is saying give him another year. I think you're on the stance with me. I wouldn't, but it depends.
No, not at all.
It depends where Denver pick in the draft. When we're saying this, because if Denver win this game, I believe they go to 6 or 7 wins, so they're going to be kind of in the middle, where they're not going to get a quarterback, so they'll probably have to stick with Lock. And I don't think John Elway is moving on from Lock anyway this year. But
that's his choice, man. I don't know.
You never know until you're on the board, but like from where they are right now, it just doesn't look likely.
I think they're where are they in like the mid-teens? They can like snag like a Kyle Trask or what's the other guy, Mac something,
Yeah, Mac Wilson from Alabama.
Mac Wilson, yeah, something like that. Maybe possibly even a Trey Lance dude. I've seen Trey Lance falling a lot.
Yeah, but that's your guy, and
Who, by the way, is QB2.
I got a feeling that your guy is going to be taking in the top like 11 or 12 when
Somewhere
it's all
around
said and
there.
done come draft night. So because I
Depending
know
on
he didn't play
trades,
this
yeah,
year, but the tape is like the tangibles are there for him, the athleticism.
yeah, you
So
could tell.
and there's a lot of quarterback needy teams once again.
That's the whole thing. I think like out of the first top 5 picks, I think 3 of them are going to be quarterbacks.
Well, they were saying the Jets might not take quarterback at 2, but I think that's crazy and it's dumb. And
I would like you guys to give Darnold one chance, but I don't know.
Me personally,
me.
I'm done. Like, I'm just not going through it again because, second overall is not a given. We're here without trading up. So, Darnold was failed here, but it's at the same time, it's not all on coaching. Like, we can say whatever we want, and I understand the weapons here have been abysmal. But I'm just looking around the league, and Justin Herbert's working with Anthony Lynn and these guys, and he looks like a great quarterback. And he has the weapons he has, but I'm just saying, like, Darnold's still making silly turnovers and just dumb decision making in year 3. So I think we should pull the plug on him. I'll root for him elsewhere for real. Like, I'm not going to just hate on him. He never threw this team under the bus, so I'll always respect Darnold. Like, there was tons of chances he could have like taken at whatever.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
Whatever coaching staff he wanted, said that I don't know they're not prepared, but he's never done it once. So he honestly is a great guy. Like, he's what you want to be as a person, like for your franchise quarterback. But it just
where I'd actually like to see you guys send him? I'd love to see him in like Indianapolis.
So would I. Even like a team like Pittsburgh, even the Niners. Like I really do want.
I don't think he'll flourish in Pittsburgh.
He has a chance there though with the weapons they have.
Yeah,
and a stable like Mike Tomlin. That's a stability franchise. But
it's true.
We'll see what happens in the offseason. We're still far away from that time. For now, we'll move on to the Ron Rivera revenge game. Panthers at Washington, and this is a huge game for the Washington football team. They need to win this game, and they're dealing with a lot of injuries right now. Alex
and COVID Smith, and potential COVID exposure because Dwayne Haskins went to a strip club.
Right after
what a guy!
Right after the loss against Seattle.
What a guy!
And there's a very good chance he starts again this week because Alex Smith, I don't think, is ready. They're saying that he got in limited practice today, but it just doesn't seem like he's going to be able to play again.
Well, isn't Haskins in the protocol now?
No, he was at practice today.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But the Washington team did say that they don't feel like they could let Alex Smith rest the entire week, and if he's ready to go, they'll play him. So there's still a chance he plays Sunday, but I'll guess Haskins plays.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to go Panthers.
Terry McLaurin's also missed the last 2 practices, so I don't know if he was back today. But if he's not practicing Thursday, it's not looking good for him. And Gibson came back, but he's still in the individual drills, and I think this is week 3 off turf toe. I don't think he'll be ready. And if he does, you just feel like he's not gonna get a full workload. There's no way. 3 weeks after, it wasn't like a grade 1 turf toe. It was bad.
It's actually funny. They have Washington as the favorite team here.
Yeah.
I don't think so personally. Even with the Panthers dealing with no Christian McCaffrey again this week, which I think
he's not going to play again this year. I don't think.
Yeah, I think he's done for the season.
I actually said this when he got hurt. Remember the first time they said it was like a week or 2. I was like, he's not playing again this year. They're doing what Zach Taylor's doing with the Bengals. They asked about Joe Mixon every week. Like, guys, get the message. He's not playing this year. These are done for the playoffs. They're under big contracts. Why would they come back for a week or 2 to risk another injury or risk a re-aggravation of the injury? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but even with the missing McCaffrey there, Mike Davis steps in, Robbie Anderson's there. Is DJ Moore playing this week?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't think you have any issues if you're the Panthers.
Yeah. I really have this 50-50, but I think I'm gonna go Washington here. Only for this reason. I hear what you're saying. Like, it makes a ton of sense. I just really like Washington's defense. I feel like they came back last week, somehow almost beat Seattle, but I feel like Seattle always do this. Seattle took their foot off the gas, and somehow Washington came all the way back. But I feel like Washington did do a good job on Russell Wilson last week. Like, they didn't let DK Metcalf get going. And I just don't like what I'm seeing from Teddy Bridgewater right now at all. Like, I watched that Packers game and just like everything's a check down. And like against this kind of ferocious pass rush with the Washington, with what they have, they could honestly score a defensive touchdown again, or at least cause a lot of 3-and-outs and a turnover or two.
Well, that needs to happen. They need to score at least, I think, one.
And
Just
I'm
one.
I'm gonna go Washington
touchdown.
here. I'm gonna go for the Ron Rivera revenge game. I'm gonna go for a stifling defensive effort from Washington, and I'll just hope that Haskins doesn't turn the ball over. Find a smart quarterback play and take the points. I'll go like 2017 Washington. Some close game, low scoring.
I can respect that.
So let's head over to the other NFC East game.
This is probably like the decider of what goes down in the division.
Yeah, and it's crazy. But once again, the NFC East coming down to probably week 17. And this is actually going to be a fun matchup. If you said this 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have agreed. But ever since Jalen Hurts has stepped in, and honestly, Dalton and the Cowboys have been kind of riding hot.
What about Tony Pollard, man?
Yeah. So Eagles at Cowboys. This is going to be a lot better than the first matchup, I'll tell you that. Their first matchup was ugly. It was Ben DiNucci was starting that game. So at least this time we have proper football.
Look, Jalen Hurts, I'm not going to say anything. Jalen Hurts has looked, great. But I don't know. I'm like super flip-flopping on this one.
So apparently Zeke Elliott's coming back. Maybe he should, because from that kind of performance, I would rush back after I just seen from Pollard. Tony Pollard just looks so much better with everything as a receiver out of the backfield.
I mean, look, fresh legs.
So much more natural. Man. And but Zeke just doesn't look that. Zeke, like Pollard has that extra explosiveness, that extra gear. I just haven't seen from Zeke in a while. I understand that Zeke gets the full workload, but it's just like I think Pollard actually gives him the best chance to win and the best chance of like maximizing that offense. Not phasing. That was
the issue with Zeke. Zeke was getting like 30 carries as a rookie.
Yeah.
So it's I feel like they already burnt out a lot of the good years of Zeke.
Yeah, which is why they gave him the contract and not Dak in the first place was mind-boggling and crazy. I don't think any of the running back contracts have worked out. Maybe outside of Derrick Henry of year one, and even McCaffrey. I think he's going to work out, but year one of McCaffrey did not work out at all. He was injured this year, which happens. That's only year one. McCaffrey, I believe, will bounce back. And the Panthers are kind of in a unique situation because they're completely rebuilding. So it's like they don't have a ton of big contracts anyway.
Yeah.
But just from the Cowboys perspective,
they
were trying to win the East this year. They were trying to do all this, and to pay Zeke just never made sense. And I honestly, you never want to wish a guy not playing, but I kind of hope that it is Pollard this week again, just for Dallas's point of view. But I'm going to go Philly here. Now, the Cowboys could win this game. I think this will be an extremely close game. I think it'll be like 30-27. Jalen Hurts has looked, he does fumble a bit, which he needs to clean up. He's recovered most of them for now, but 2 or 3 fumbles a game that's too much.
That's excessive, yeah.
That is excessive, but I like what he's offering from the ground game. Both him and what you said earlier about Miles Sanders being opened up and used now in this offense is nice to see. It needs to be done. And ever since he stepped in, we've seen like Greg Ward reemerge once again for this team. Like it seems like he comes in clutch every December. Alshon Jeffrey is alive. He's scoring touchdowns now. So, but I'm not going to count out Cowboys. Like Dolphins also been playing well.
That's my whole thing. Like,
yeah,
both these teams have just been playing so well that you don't know who to choose at this point.
And Dallas are at home, so like that gives you probably a big Amari Cooper game because I know he's kind of hot and cold away. Home and away, but he's usually good at home. CeeDee Lamb, man, last week looked really good once again with against the Niners. And I feel like he would have been more of a star this year if Dak had stayed healthy. He was early on in the year, but then all we heard about was Justin Jefferson and Brandon Ayuk. But I feel like Lamb kind of, even though he was taken in the first round and like the third receiver taken, I believe, he's kind of gone like under the radar ever since Dak's been hurt.
Yeah, super steal on that end.
That is crazy. Michael Gallup also looks good again, but I believe he's banged up. I believe he's playing. But for right now, I'm going to go Philly. But like I said, I have a feeling this is going to be one of the better games of the week, and it's going to be probably a field goal type of game, or at least a touchdown type of game the whole way. I'm going to trust Doug Peterson. I know it's crazy to say. I'm still not on the Michael McCarthy.
That's my whole thing, dude. It's like, do I trust Doug Peterson? Do I trust Mike McCarthy?
I will say I've given McCarthy a lot of shit this past year, but the last few weeks has looked a lot better.
He's looked pretty good, yeah.
Yep.
Can't complain.
Even against the Ravens, he looked pretty respectable. So I'm not counting the Cowboys out at all. Like I said, this is going to be a really close game and one of the better matchups of the week.
I think I'm going to take the veteran presence and Andy Dalton to pull this one out. I mean, look, granted.
I like it. Listen.
I think Jalen Hurts has looked phenomenal, but I don't know. I just think there's too many more pieces to work with in terms of what you're working with on the offense in Dallas. So I just think it'll be like an easier effort to get the offense going.
Yeah,
both team defenses look terrible.
100% right. This wouldn't surprise me if the Cowboys win this game. They've been riding hot too.
You know, I mean, like both teams' defenses are terrible. So it's just really going to come down to which offense has the hotter hand.
Oh, I will say, Dallas, right, have been playing pretty. I mean, granted, last week
they did get a lot. They got a lot of people back.
They've been getting a lot of like sacks and like turnover-worthy plays. So, but I feel like Philly kind of offers you that too with their defensive line. So, this is gonna be interesting. I can't wait actually to watch this game Sunday. But we'll move on.
Another interesting one.
Yeah. So, this is basically for the battle of first place in the NFC West. Rams at Seahawks. This one's going to be really interesting. Before we start, I'll just say the Rams usually have Seattle's number. I don't know what it is. Just Russell Wilson usually, for the most part of his career, has not played well, especially in recent history, against the Rams. So if Seattle have a chance in this game, they're going to want a big run game. And I see without fans this year, I feel like that kind of limits the Seattle, home impact.
Oh man.
So I actually picked Seattle at first, but I think I'm going to change it to the Rams. I feel like they're due for a bounce back game.
Definitely after getting embarrassed last week.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just don't see, especially Aaron Donald, that was getting absolutely shut down. I think he has a monster game and makes Russell Wilson uncomfortable all game long.
Yeah. I mean, this one's surprised. Like, even Seattle, though, right? Seattle hadn't looked that hot. I know they beat Washington last week, right? But for whatever reason, Seattle don't look that good going in right now, the last few weeks, even though they've been winning, grinding it out. They haven't looked like.
I think everyone's kind of like figured it out with them because they know the running game is, kind of dead. If Chris Carson isn't in the game, they're not running it.
Yeah. So, and then I know Carlos Hyde got the big touchdown last week, but for most of the year, he's been like.
Yeah, like non-existent.
Yeah.
So they kind of figured out. They figured out like, all right, so-and-so's in the game. They're going for a pass right here. Just lock up. Metcalf
Seattle really needs Tyler Lockett to get alive, man. I don't know where he's been, and he's been gone for like a month at least.
Even Metcalf kind of quieted down a little bit.
Yeah, I will say though that was probably I think Washington just did a good job on him last week. Because Metcalf's had an insane year. I feel like he's been the only consistent presence outside of a game or two. I don't know. It's just Seattle's offense. Maybe it's just the way Russell Wilson is playing. I'm not saying he's in a funk, but he's nowhere near what he was like September and October right now.
I feel like they took the ball out of his hand a lot now. Like I don't know. They switched up the play calling a little bit.
I will say though, the Jets showed the recipe to beat the Rams. It was never a hard recipe. You just got to get interior pressure on the Rams and kind of get Goff off the spot and kind of stop the run. So I am concerned for the Rams in the playoffs. I really am, but I don't think Seattle kind of offer. I feel like Seattle are more dangerous around the edge, even though they don't really have any edge rushers either. Like Dunlap is more of a threat off the edge. Jamal Adams blitzes off the edge. I don't feel like Seattle have that big interior, Jaron Reed and Poona Ford, but he's more of a nose tackle. So I'm gonna go Rams here. It would not surprise me if Seattle win this game, but I'll bet on a Rams bounce back. I think this is a game Cooper Kupp, and I think they get tight ends more involved this week, whether it's Higbee or Everett. One of them will have a good week. So
I could agree with that. Yeah.
2 Rams.
2 for 2 Rams.
So we'll hop into the Sunday night game. This is going to be a fun one. Tennessee at the Packers.
This is probably going to be one of the highest scoring games of the year.
I agree.
I could see this easily going into the 40 range.
Especially because of how mad Aaron Rodgers was last week. After the game, even though they won, he was not a happy man. And I watched the post-game interview on NFL Network, and he was just not happy with what the offense did. The Panthers kind of they had 5, I think, or 6 sacks. So I feel like Rodgers, even in the second half, he didn't really do anything against the Panthers. Like they were just kind of a lot of 3 and outs, a lot of missed opportunities.
This is definitely the team to have a bounce back offensive performance against. So, I mean, for both of them too, because both teams again lack a very solid defense, like pressure wise.
Yeah, especially Tennessee. I feel like
Yeah,
they cannot get to the quarterback this year at all. And against the Packers, who have actually a really good offensive line, which is why it was shocking the Panthers got there so many times. This is going to be a good bounce back game in terms of pass protection for the Packers. And when you get Rodgers basically all day, he's going to find whether it's Devontae
someone.
Adams, whether it's
Yeah,
whether it's Aaron Jones, it doesn't matter. MVS, somebody will get open. And I'm going to pick the Packers here in a bounce back game. But there is definitely a way Titans could win this game. If the
oh,
Titans
for
hold the
sure.
ball like they've been doing, like Ryan Tannehill's been phenomenal once again this entire year. And Derrick Henry, man, has been he's Mr. December and Mr. January. So there's that. The Packers have a so-so
Big
defense.
task. Big task ahead
Big
of them.
pass. They have a so-so defense against the run, and I feel like this might be another 100-yard performance for Derrick Henry.
Easily. I think he gets 100 yards in the first half.
It's possible. We'll see about.
I think,
You
yeah.
know what's funny about these two teams is both of them love to hold the ball when they're on offense. Like sometimes the Packers will go for the deep shot to MVS, and the Titans will go for the deep shot, whether it's Corey Davis or AJ Brown. But for the most part, if you watch these both offenses, they love just to pick up like first down. They love the gadget plays, and they love to just ground the ball. Whether it's Henry or Aaron Jones or Jamal Williams. Although I think Jamal Williams won't be playing this week, so it'll be Aaron Jones, and I think maybe a little bit of AJ Dillon. Even though last week he didn't, I think he got like 2 carries. So
Yeah, I think there's
what
going to
for
be way
Jones.
too much back and forth. Way too much back and forth in this game.
This should be a fun
Oh.
one. I'm glad this one was on Sunday Night Football.
No, yeah, this is definitely like a really good primetime matchup. I think I'm also going to have to go with the Packers, though.
I'm
I think
thinking
at
like,
the end,
what are you thinking like score? I'm thinking 35-31 or something like big.
I'm thinking like 41-38 type
You're,
of
you're going,
deal.
all right, you're going even higher than I. All right.
Yeah, dude, I want to see what the over under for this is.
I will say, just while you're looking that up, the Titans got Adoree Jackson back last week. Finally, like I talked about him, he's been injured since before week 1, and they need him for the playoffs. This man was really good in the playoffs last year, and we know the Titans secondary has been like this year in their defense. So they need, if they're not going to get to the quarterback, so they're not going to this year. They're going to need to cover a long time. So
Yeah, which
what
I
is
think
the
a pissed off Aaron. Oh, it's up 55.5. They're easily going to eclipse
yeah,
that.
I'd go over. I'd slam the over in that one.
Easily eclipse that. But yeah, I think a pissed off Aaron Rodgers, like Peter said, is a very, very scary sight to see. So I'm going to go Green Bay this week.
All right, and that brings us to our last game of the week. Bills at Patriots. I believe we all know who we're going this game. Buffalo, pretty easily. The Patriots cannot stop the run in recent weeks. I believe they've allowed back-to-back 200-yard games. Not from one player, just overall in teams running over them, rush-wise. And Stephon Gilmore got hurt. Luckily, he avoided like an ACL, which everyone thought it was. I think he tore his quad, which is still a bad injury, but it's nowhere near. He'll be fine in like 2 months compared to an ACL. So good for him. I don't know if he'll be back with the Patriots, but either way, he's not playing obviously this week. And how hot and how good does Josh Allen look in the Bills' offense? Like this guy,
He
Josh
makes
Allen.
everyone around him so much better.
Yeah, and it's pretty remarkable. I've hated on Allen in the past, even though this is only year 1 of the podcast. So actually, if you watched, I've actually given Allen a lot of love this year, and he's honestly deserved it. Like I will only criticize players when they when they deserve it. But Allen's been phenomenal. Stephon Diggs is one of the best receivers in football, top 5. And I really wish the Bills would have a better run game. Maybe this is the week against New England, that Singletary. I know he got a garbage time touchdown against Denver, but they just don't really have a run game. But for right now, it hasn't mattered this year. Like just the weapons between Cole Beasley and Stephon Diggs has been phenomenal. And John Brown's not even playing these past 2 weeks, and they still look like the biggest threat to me right now to the Chiefs in the AFC.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Steelers lost that privilege a while ago.
Yeah, and they're
But
they're going in hot. Perfect time to go in.
Yeah, good luck, Bill Belichick. You're not stopping Josh Allen this week. It's
Yeah.
going to be another game where he's just going to control it the entire time, and good luck.
Agreed. And the Patriots kind of look beat down and just kind of like I don't want to say they're mailing it in because you never want to say that, but there's 2 weeks
They're
left.
mailing it in.
Yeah,
They're mailing it in.
there's nothing left of them. A lot of them are going to be not there next year, if we're being honest. A lot of their players. So, and the Bills have, congratulations to Buffalo. I think the first time in can't remember 20 years, maybe longer, since they won the AFC East. I'm glad it's not the Patriots anymore. So, good for them. They've definitely earned it. And I think that's it for this week. So thank you guys for joining us. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, guys.